Well, look who got paid again. That's right. It's me. Let's walk through how I'm budgeting this paycheck. For context, I'm Sandra. I'm 26 years old. I earn money by working full-time as an occupational therapist. I live with a man and we have shared financial goals but not shared finances, so I pay 1/3 of our living expenses and he pays 2/3. This allows me to put more money to my student loans, which is currently our biggest financial goal, to pay those off. I'm paid bi-weekly, but I budget monthly, and this is my first paycheck of June, so let's jump into what I am gonna do with it. First off, the income itself. This payday, I brought in $1,970.87. Again, this is from working full-time as an OT in a hospital. So I'm gonna just go ahead and plug that money into the income box. Also, I built the spreadsheet to budget with, but it's also available to you guys if you're interested in budgeting like me or supporting me. I think this is the last video where it'll be half off for my viewers. For the next budget with me video, I'm not gonna include that discount because it's only $8 and I feel like that's great value, and it took me over 60 hours of building it. So if you're interested in getting it for half off, which would be about $4, go ahead and grab it now before my next budget video goes live in a couple weeks if you're watching this late. But how this spreadsheet works is that you set monthly targets one time and those targets roll through to every month, and then you track your income and expenses in the boxes on the right of each month's tab. You can also assign money to categories that you haven't necessarily spent yet, or also to savings, and this is just essentially putting that money aside for that purpose so that you know that it's there and accounted for. Any money that's assigned but not spent in a month rolls over into a bucket for the next month to help you get ahead on expenses. Like you'll see, I'm 1 month ahead on my fixed expenses, and this can also help you account for variability in your spending. If you spend less one month and more the next, it doesn't look like you overspent in that month because you have the money in your bucket. So now that we've plugged in our income, let's go ahead and put that money to work. Since my first priority is paying off my student loan debt, I want to go ahead and make my minimum payment. I went ahead and paid this 2 days before I got paid because it takes a couple days to process and I just wanted it paid. So I did make a mistake and I accidentally put my old payment for a loan towards a different loan, which is higher, so I accidentally paid $100 extra to one of my loans. So I put a total of $1,100 to my loans, and this is my minimum payment plus the $100 for being bad at following directions. And this brought my balance to $86,913. I'll make another payment with my next paycheck. Next, I'm gonna assign money to my variable spending and savings. Every single month, I assign $200 to variable spending. This doesn't mean that I've spent the money, but I've just set it aside to spend on personal spending. This is my guilt-free. I can spend this money on whatever I want. I like assigning it though because I don't always spend $200 in a month, so I like to tuck it aside, and if I do have a month where I spend a little bit more, then it's already set there and it just kind of sits as a bucket in my checking account. For savings, I have an emergency fund that's fully funded at $10,000, and I will not be contributing more to it right now. I also have sinking funds that I contribute to at about $220 a month. When I assign money for savings in my savings account, I also log into the bank and send the money to the appropriate account because I don't keep my sinking funds in the same account as my checking account. At this point, I don't have enough money to assign anything in totality, so I'll go ahead and assign money to next month's car insurance and phone bill, and then the rest that's left over will just hang out until I get my next paycheck. So when I get paid again, I will assign money to next month's shared expenses, investments, and then whatever's left over, I'll just go ahead and make an extra payment to my student loans. All in all, this routine that I do every single time I get paid takes me about 5 minutes, and then as you guys know, I also sit down every Monday and track my expenses, and that takes another 5 minutes. So it is a very quick process to just look at how much I made, tell the money where it needs to go in my budget spreadsheet, and then also make whatever associated payments there are. Budgeting my money does not take long, and that is one thing that I really love about it, because if it were complicated, I definitely wouldn't do it. Thanks for your support. If you want to tag along on my financial journey, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.